DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Intel, and Monster Energy.
Heroic live to fight another day as they knock Sprout out of the competition here in Leipzig. They'll be facing North in our last best of 3 of the day, but now it is time to find out who will be heading straight for tomorrow's semi-finals. Will it be the Aussies of Renegades or will it be Cloud9? My name is Freya, your host up here on the desk, and joining me as always are Potter and Maniac. Guys, we only have had 2 games today, but they've definitely delivered. I'm so excited to be getting into these last 2.
Yeah, the game's really delivered for sure. We've had 2 teams, very sad, 2 teams maintaining in the tournament, living to fight another game, maybe not another day, because these 2 last games, they will decide who goes into the playoff and who goes home 5th and 6th. We've had surprises, namely VP getting completely blown out of the water, probably already flying right now back home because that was so fast. And now we get to decide who goes in the playoff.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting indeed. But if any of you guys have missed out on any of the action here at DreamHack Open Leipzig, fear not, because we're going to give you a little bit of a recap of our Group A bracket. Obviously, yesterday we saw Big going straight through to the Sunday's semi-finals. Now we are in the lower bracket games. Virtus.pro, as you said, Maniac have obviously been knocked out of the tournament. That was definitely a surprise. Cloud9 going 2-0 to now land themselves to face up against Renegades. Renegades are here because obviously they lost out against Big yesterday. And as you can see from this bracket, this is a rematch of what happened yesterday, and now it is a best of 3, which I absolutely love. We've been talking about best of 1s. Cadian sort of said, can we take all the results coming from them? Best of 3s, we can definitely cement a result from
Exactly so. And I think we're definitely going to see different variations, different types of teams approaching this series, these BO3 series versus what we saw yesterday. So it should be a pretty exciting series coming up.
Yeah, exactly, indeed. I want to see what maps we're going to be playing on in this series. Speaking of them, what are you kind of thinking for this series? Is there any maps that we're definitely going to be seeing?
Could I call a friend maybe or ask the audience? Do you have that in your game as well?
50-50?
50-50 maybe?
Freya, we were talking about Floppy, his interview bringing right before this this series before, and he mentioned that him and his team don't like playing Vertigo, and we were like, he's leaving out breadcrumbs?
Is that a fake information? Oh no, we really don't like Vertigo.
Exactly.
But he also said that about Dust 2 as well. He was like, I personally don't like playing Dust 2. Ooh,
see, Renegades vetoed it. I was hoping that Renegades
they called the bluff?
did a 200 IQ.
They
called the bluff.
it. Yeah, he called the bluff.
All right, now when it comes to pick, is Overpass going to come back? No, Overpass is not picked by Renegades, which they had won against Cloud9. That being said, I do feel like we have a completely different Cloud9 today than we had on the first day. And also sometimes you don't want to play the map you just won the day before because you might not have adjusted. They will have adjusted, so you go on a new theater, a new environment. Inferno and Dust 2. Train is a possibility. No, actually we're going to go for... Oh, there it is. If you're Renegades, you have to feel good about it. You could leave Overpass in the pick as a third. You don't pick it yourself. But I don't really know who it favors. What do you think about these 3 maps?
I think it surely favors Cloud9 coming in. I like that the Overpass is in the series itself. I'm interested to see why Renegades didn't pick it and Cloud9. Neither of these teams picked that Overpass. I mean, I get what you're saying, that maybe you're afraid that they adjusted, maybe you're afraid we didn't adjust enough, but we saw earlier today how effective it is when you lose a map, you come in, you re-pick it, you're able to adjust overnight. It's kind of concerning.
I mean, maybe they had Floppy in the interview earlier. He said that, not as a team, but personally, he really doesn't like Dust 2, which is very interesting. He was giving away a lot of info there, as you mentioned, Foster. But obviously, they did come out and win that whole map. And I think the Cloud9 that we saw earlier, definitely blew yesterday's Cloud9 out of the water. It was such a different team.
Yeah, completely. Okay, the fact that VP did not play a great series is a given. We're not going to argue against that. But Cloud9's face, what they have shown in that first game today was absolutely astonishing. I did not expect them to perform like that, because one of the discussion we had was internet versus LAN. Yes, sure, they've had great results on the net, destroying teams at Katowice qualifier, but now it's LAN. The first game we see them, they fall flat on their T side, so we have doubts. But today, there was none of that. Very aggressive, very decisive. Sonic with the AWP, MOTM as well, rocking and styling. So they kind of shattered my world. I don't really know where to put Cloud9 at the moment.
I don't either, and it still begs the question which Cloud9 is going to show up, only because although they won 2-0, VP didn't really put up a fight.
No.
You know, they didn't put up a fight, so I'm wondering how is Cloud9 going to react once again when they're in a position with Dexter pushing forward, with INS being aggressive, and when a spanner is thrown in the works and Cloud9 don't have the experience to have a backup plan and a backup plan of your backup plan, then it becomes really, really difficult.
Well, speaking of Dexter there, Maniac, you have brought him up as your player to watch in this series, and why is that?
Well, the fact is that Dexter, first of all, is the in-game leader. So, right, tactically speaking, he's going to have a lot on his plate. That is a best of 3, that can be long. But what I really like, and what I have seen on Overpass, is that he plays a very key position. Maybe some would say way too aggressive. It's like a double-edged sword. If you're going to play these types of position, like the connector on Overpass, for example, that's where we saw him. But if you do it alone, sure, if it works, then we all clap and that is beautiful. But if you die, there is no safety net, no one can trade you in any case, and you lose the map control. So I'm waiting to see if Dexter is going to take that role, and if he does, I want Cloud9 to be ready, because he surprised them the first day. Now they must have learned their lesson.
That's what I'm finding really, really interesting about this stuff. How do you prepare as Cloud9 coming into it when you see players like this doing quite wacky, quite weird things, especially from the in-game leader? It's definitely a challenge for them.
It really is, and I think you just have to stick to your guns, stick to your game plan. Don't allow the other team to bully you out of your own game plan. Allow the other team to do whatever shenanigans they're trying to do, but still stick to your guns. And I think that was the struggle with Cloud9. We spoke about them going into the bomb sites, kind of faltering, the positioning, the trading capabilities, they weren't there. That is not what happened in the earlier matchup, earlier series today, so it certainly shouldn't happen in this one either.
Well, speaking of Cloud9, you yourself have got a player to watch for this. Who is it going to be?
Yes, so it's going to be OC, the Korean op genius over on the Cloud9 side. We saw exactly what he can be capable of on that Dust 2 earlier, and I think he's going to bust it out once again. It's looking like a much more confident OC here today. Once again, though, I am concerned that once he finds himself in those sticky, difficult situations, how is he going to react? How is he going to be able to capitalize and enable the rest of his team to be able to rally around behind him, because he was a key factor in that Dust 2 victory. He allowed Floppy and MOTM to react off of his op shots, not just his op kills, but really all the noise reactions that he was giving off. So OC is going to be the player to watch for me here in this series.
Yeah, of course. And speaking of which, we saw Cloud9 take on Virtus Pro earlier today, and we had a few words with Sonic after that. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
So going up against Renegades, we are hopefully going to be able to play a better game than we played against them the first time. I think we had a better showing today against new VP, and hopefully we can carry that through into the next series and show what we're made of. I think we weren't showing our full potential against Renegades, and I think they know that, so maybe they're a bit scared, so we'll see. Oh man, we came here to win, you know. I think it's been a long time, so I would like to win a trophy now. It's time. And it's time for the rest of my team. You know, we're all young, we're up-and-coming players, and we're here to make a name for ourselves. And we're motivated, we're fired up, you know. We're here to do what we need to do and do our job well.
Sonic echoing our sentiments there that this is definitely a different Cloud9 coming in today. And I love the confidence that he said he is here to win a trophy. It's been a long time, and they deserve one.
Yeah, I mean, and they're in a great position to do so. The phase that they have shown against VP was very decisive again, and they had something that not a lot of Rook team have, is a good understanding on when to be aggressive, how to do it, and when to pull back. You will see rookie teams trying to be over-aggressive, giving away leads when they have it, but not Cloud9. On Dust 2, for example, they would take Catwalk from you, -1, -2, and then go back to the side. Close around, you have no way to get back in. Now, that's the type of experience that usually all teams show, but they can do it, and that is pretty impressive.
It definitely is, and I'm surprised, not surprised, I guess I like the fact that Sonic is showing such confidence, but it hasn't really been that long. I mean, almost all 10 of these players, this is their very first Open that they're all attending. So I guess it bodes well for them that Sonic's like, you know what, it's time. I want to win that trophy in his almost very first Open. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the transition of what we kind of saw from them yesterday coming into today, I think one of my sort of key messages coming into this event was that they look so good on their T sides, but the CT sides are where they're a little bit lackluster because, you know, you've got to have some strats on them. Because they're a new team, it's a little bit more difficult. But earlier this morning, that was definitely proven wrong. They looked really, really solid on both sides. So I'm very, very excited to see what they're going to bring for their second matchup of today.
Exactly. It is those CT sides that you're mentioning, Freya. And it was really those easy concept, easy to get behind crossfires that all of these Cloud9 guys were fully invested and got behind. So I think we're going to see a lot more of those. And if Cloud9 players are able to follow up through with it, then it should make their jobs much easier.
Yeah, exactly that. And of course, they'll be facing up against Renegades, the guys that lost out to Big yesterday to push them down into the lower bracket. It is ride or die time for both of these teams coming into this. One will go through to the semi-finals, one will be eliminated. And the man you were mentioning there, Dexter, I really like this guy's attitude. He seems so calm, so collected, and it's been paying off.
You know, we speak sometimes about aura, like we said about Hunt, and I feel like Dexter has that as well. Like, I would like him to be my captain if he can show that kind of cool-headed, cold-blooded level of calm when he's playing. That's very important. But that being said, I have a feeling of uneasiness when it comes to Renegades. I feel like we haven't seen so much from them. What has really worked so far was one CT side against Cloud9. That's where they made all the difference on the first day on Overpass. Dexter was doing absolutely whatever he wanted. Ince was very impactful as well. Whenever he had to win the duels, he would do it. But besides that, we haven't seen that much. We haven't seen the depth. They played 2 BO1. They haven't played any best of 3. So I have a hard time judging them, whereas with Cloud9, I know where I am. With Renegades, I'm still not sure what to put the dance.
And also another factor, on Cloud9, we've seen all 4 of their superstars, 3 superstars, like kind of really rising up to the occasion. Whereas for the Renegade side, yes, we have seen Dexter, Malta, and INS stepping up, but they were all in 3 separate matches. Now we're in the series. We've got 3 maps coming up. These guys are going to have to figure out a way to grind it out and have all these players enabled and into the game and showing up when it matters together. Because if they're going to be staggered apart with Dexter showing up on one map, then INS on the next, it's just going to make their job so much more difficult.
And I mean, there is a man that we haven't spoken about so much, and that's a problem for me. That's Sicko. That's the AWP, the main AWP from that lineup in Renegades. And I remember in Greyhound, I remember watching him play, and he would be very impactful. He would be good at the entry. He would know how to play the clutches. And I find myself here not naming him so much. And that is an issue. We're going to go to best of 3 now. He's going to have to step up. Granted, Inferno is not the best case for an AWP. We know that. But then it's Dust 2, then it's Overpass, 2 maps where he needs to have an impact. And I haven't seen him much for now. That is the most important game. If he shows up now, I'm okay with that. It's all good. But he's gonna need to do more than he has until this point.
Yep, I totally agree with you there, Maniac. And now it is time to get into our predictions. Maniac, I gave you the horrible job last time, so I'm going to shift it to you. Who are you going with for this series?
Going with Cloud9. I'm always going to vote for Cloud9 throughout this tournament, I think. They're looking good.
Pick one.
Am I passing? Oh, I thought we were. My bad.
No,
I ruined it. I'll pick this one.
I baited you on that one. I would go for Cloud9.
Okay, I think I'm going to join you. I think it's going to be a full Cloud9 across the desk. I think just echoing the sentiment of I don't think we've totally seen everything from Renegades. So yes, I think I'm going to be heading with Cloud9. Of course, we're going to take a look at our Twitch chat poll as well. Favouring Cloud9 there yet again. So definitely a fan favourite. We'll be getting into this third best of 3 series of the day. Will it be Cloud9 going straight to the semis, or will it be Renegades? Find out after this.
What's Jable and Jables? Welcome back. We've got some more DreamHack action coming at you, but we've shifted from the losers BO3s.
No more losers.
Get them out of here. Over to the decider BO3s. That's right, 2 more playoff teams to crown here this evening. And first and foremost, Mohan, we get ourselves a little rematch. We get ourselves Renegades versus Cloud9. How excited for this one are you?
Super, because as they mentioned on the desk, very important point about how when they played last, it was on Overpass.
Yes.
And it was a map where Cloud9 started off particularly slowly.
Very slowly.
And then proved that they were a different team after, in the next series, in the next matches that they played.
Hell.
So we're also curious. How are they going to play on Overpass?
Dude, we're wasting no time. Let's go.
Oh, we're going to play Inferno. Oh,
Inferno's where we begin. Dust 2, map 2, and of course, if we have to, you just mentioned it, Overpass is where the decider shall unfold if we have to get there. That almost makes me want a third map, especially since we've only had 2 zeros here today. But let's go. They couldn't deal with Dexter yesterday, and already he goes running down middle to pop off the pistol. Floppy, here from alt mid though, is able to claw back into just the 1-man advantage, and keep your eyes on the HP. It's already very low for Renegades, but Dexter, give them a chance, man. He has single-handedly forced Cloud9 down into a 2 versus 4. Finally, Floppy, perhaps a saving grace, can bring this back. And while him and Sonic have cleared the A site launders, they don't have a bomb.
It's about getting the bomb back. How will they do it? There's many options, but at the same time, it's going to take a lot of time to get all the way down to mid safely. They're going to waste no time. They're going to run their way down here, make noise. Hat's going to go off of the audible. Make it a 1v1 here for Floppy. Low HP on the last remaining player. Floppy is going to be able to get a bomb plant. He doesn't play this however he wants. He doesn't know how much health INS has. Maybe just a guess.
This is nice. You know, yesterday, because of the nature of the aggression from Dexter on Overpass, because Cloud9 weren't able to play their game in any way, they were just smothered by the Aussies. We never really got to see any of these stars shine from the North Americans. And now versus Virtus.pro earlier today, we got that. We got some good showings. This man here, particularly, Floppy, was putting up numbers. His Deagle singing. And now he's looking to finish off this pistol. It's his 4K on the line, but a smoke kit situation here for Int. And now he knows exactly where he's at. Floppy, it's such low health that you'd think he could spam him down, but he's not stuck it. Oh, Floppy's still inside of the smoke. Shadows, knives, whose game is it? The defuse starts to come out. Floppy's got it. Cloud9 take the pistol.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that was tense. That was actually a really nice attempt for how such low HP he had. I mean, I think he used the smoke properly. I like the rotation to come up to mid for the long rotate because he had such low HP. Floppy could have been waiting anywhere on Banana for him to come up that way. And it also gave him a new chance to get a free fight coming through CT spawn. But man, it got really hectic in that 1v1.
Man, that was one of those beautiful pistol moments. The kit's in play, the smoke's in play, the low HP, so many layers to it. But we move right into what is a full buy from Renegades. Lots of armor, lots of utility.
Yeah. Lots of damage done already. Softens him up a little bit. But there's no presence anywhere else. It's going to be B very soon.
A player's a little hesitant. Nobody's peering down mid, so the SMGs get the party going. But there it is. Malta eventually burned out, but great timing. P250 nabs him 2 kills. Mod, I'm sure, keeps it even at 3v3, but there are still grenades to play. 2 more smokes and a frag as well. They could go for the boost, throw a man over this, try and use that Deagle to rip one off. But Modem gets back into the cover just in time. He's dancing with death, though. They know exactly where he's at. Ooh, that one could have been the hit. The frag grenade does soften him up. Significant chip damage. Significant advantage, even, for the side of Renegades, but they still don't have the weapons to really hammer this home. Hats gets one off of the coffin, bomb. 2/3 of the way gone already, so it will be Cloud9 converting pistol launders, but at what cost?
Yeah, it's a majority deaths. That's fine. That's a big pickup, I'd say, for the Renegades, considering what they had to work with. So not too bad. Keeping Cloud9 on their feet, and yeah, very simple anti-eco round in terms of just like strategically what they want to do. Just hit B once they get contact. There's a lot of good nades thrown there from the ecoing players, so I think they worked hard for those kills. Dexter hit that Deagle body shot plus that nade that came into Emo. They would have got that kill as well. So quite a successful round, I'd say, overall. Already into a tech pause, potentially.
Did I say technical?
Could be tech, yeah, it could be tech.
It's okay, man. I've got
yeah.
patience, Launders. We just sat down, you and I. You know, the rest of the crew may have been putting in hard hours, but they've brought us in fresh face and bushy-tailed. I think it's the saying, man. That's the saying, right?
Yeah, we're bushy-tailed right now.
Bushy-tailed.
Yeah, I'm feeling furry.
Maybe on both sides, not an issue.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We've had a decent day, you and I, so far. Had some kebab for lunch.
I've had a decent month.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Yeah, went to Vietnam.
Do you know what country you're in?
Well, I know continent for sure.
Right.
It's Europe. I went to Van Silly's wedding. I think it's wedding story. I went to Van. It might be wedding story time.
All right, hit me with it.
Okay, I went to Van Silly's wedding. This is an awkward moment from Launders. This is a Larry David Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. Okay, I went to Van Silly's wedding, and then we were in the church doing the initial ceremony, and then after the ceremony is over, there's a moment where there is the priest handing out pieces of the body of Christ. Yeah. And I went to line up. I'm not religious or Catholic myself, but I saw everybody, friends and family, lining up. We're in Vietnam. Everyone's speaking Vietnamese. I couldn't really ask for help. I was trying to follow the lead. So I get behind a line of like 15 or 20 family and friends.
Sure.
Everyone's kind of going through, getting a piece, and I'm like, okay. So I get to the front of the line, and I'm just like, I'm going to just say what he says. And he goes, body of Christ. And here's where I'm supposed to say amen.
Of course.
That's what you would normally say in that situation. But I didn't know, and I wasn't listening enough to the people in front of me, so I just said, body of Christ.
Back to him.
And then he didn't make this easy for me at all, okay? He wasn't helping me out, realizing that I had no idea what I was doing, and he said, body of Christ? Like giving me a second chance, and I said, body of Christ? And then he said, are you Catholic? And I said, no. And then he waved his hand and said, I cannot.
You cannot.
I cannot.
Just sent you packing.
Sent me packing.
Oh, in front of all these people.
Yeah, about 200 people. There's actually 2 weddings going on at the same time. Every row was full. I was wearing a traditional áo dài, which is a Vietnamese garb that I had custom tailored in Vietnam just for the wedding.
Yeah.
I was actually more dressed up for this wedding in traditional clothing than anybody else there, on top of being a bleached-haired, tall, brown man.
So you put in a lot of effort to try and fit in, whether that was the clothes,
to fit in and stand out at the same time, yes.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
He wasn't happy about it. No.
Man, you're going to hell.
Yeah, maybe for that reason and more. We'll see.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking with us. We're right back into the action. 2-0 for Cloud9, of course. Clean conversion. Well, not really, actually. 3 losses. And oh, come on. Dexter's going for it again. Not much to lose in this one. You know, just tidbits of utility and pistols added to the tally, and already you can see the result of it, near nothing. Cloud9 going to kind of recuperate from the last round, seeing as they had lost 3 bodies. This time, all 5 standing at the end of it, and that's a nice start for the T side of Inferno.
It is nice, yeah. Brings it back, and it makes up for the majority deaths from last round as well. What is the buy? Sicko doesn't have any nades. Everybody else has very adequate grenades. Nobody has a flashbang so far. Interesting fact. There is one flash from the whole CT side at this moment. That's kind of curious. I think that limits you quite a bit, but at the same time, 4 incendiaries is also quite powerful. So we'll see what's more important.
Well, this big old cannon on Sicko could be pretty key.
Yeah, he's a bit timid with it. Just wants to peek down mid slightly.
Yeah.
No support here to help him move forward. And he's going to rotate around off of a smoke that pops just behind him at the archway.
I understand his caution. I mean, there is a world where that MAC-10 was ready to just barrel down on him from alt-mid, but not the case. SMG was thrown to the top of Banana, where we see some utility being traded back and forth. No rotation being caused by this, and so it's just each team kind of puffing their chest with 2 players at B.
They lack a little bit of information right now, the Renegades. They've got Sicko, but he's only spotting Boiler. I don't know if you can see mid. Yeah, just Boiler. He has no presence at Arch. His teammate Dexter is not peeking Arch as well. So there's a lot the T's can do from there.
Especially with this amount of time. I mean, we still have 50 seconds on the clock for Cloud9. Sure, they've taken Arch side, but where do they go from this? Technically, B could be an option, but nope. It's going to be 5 all in on A. Nice old split, but an even better hold. Solid stuff from Renegades coming out of just OC. He too denied. I feel like Renegades didn't know exactly what was coming until it all hit. But the moment it did, they passed with flying colors.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Dexter's kill is incredibly important because he's playing that passive position. If he has to duck for cover when he's sitting in Graveyard, he's going to die if he has to peek up again. So it's really important that he gets that kill because he has nowhere to move. And then, yeah, everyone contributes. But you got to say that's like a smart move also by Cloud9 to continue on with that, given like they picked the choke point that had nobody in it, and they made up so much ground with it. So you got to give them credit. That was probably the smart decision. It just didn't work out that time.
That's so crucial. Malta is burning in the corner, down to 30 health, but he doesn't leave the sandbags until he gets bailed out. Sonic was so ready to frag him. Good cover there from Int. But it goes off, sinks, peeks off arch side, drops Modem. That's 2 down for the count. And Dexter, he abuses the Molotov. There's still that slight gap between the flames and the wall that he can just sneak into, and look what it nets him. Another frag, 5 versus 2.
Yeah, Arch Smoke comes back into their faces. They've got to decide if they want to walk through it. But Dexter's got his eyes peeled. He knows, he seems to understand exactly when the attention is going to come his way in terms of the wrap. Molotov goes down, pushes the T's out into the open, but that's actually just going to net them a kill. It's not probably going to be worth that much. 45 seconds left. There's still 2 players in B. They'll have to work over here, but it's no surprise to the Renegades that they're coming.
Very nice. Gonna smoke off construction, so that forces the CT back around towards Coffin. He has to keep eyes on smoke just in case someone walks through it, but there's also Malta here, low HP, still tucked away on Banana. They give up the bomb site nearly. OC will be pinned and pinched. These 2 CTs get the best of him, and Floppy unable to respond as of yet. 15 seconds left over, 4 CTs breathing down his neck, so understandably so, he too toppled. 4 surviving for Renegades.
Yeah, it was a really nice rotation there.
Excellent.
So they smoke construction, which is great from Cloud9. They don't even need to because Renegades have already adjusted past that. They've gone to coffins and then off to Banana as well. So from those spots, you know, Cloud9 are like, well, why is nobody even going for a trade right now? But at the same time, we know we can't plant. There's probably still 2 people here, and there's no easy way for us to get Banana before we plant. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and then they end up just dying, and Renegades take minimal losses. So that was very, very nice. Good attempt, though, in the 2v4 to make the most of it. Pistols out for Cloud9. Or, yeah, pistols out for Cloud9. They've got a smoke, a couple of flashbangs, and that's it for now. Arch presence here between Dexter and Sicko, the Cubby bait. They haven't done that yet.
Flashbang, Hats unable to stop them from jumping outwards, but this is just a clean sweep, easy pickings. 5 again alive for Renegades. So as quickly as Cloud9 got 3-0 on the board, Launders, they've been tied right up, and well, that last one, understandably, just pistols to get them out of the way. It's really the gun rounds I'm curious to see. I mean, again, at one point had a 5 versus 3 on that A site, full weaponry, and it was just cleared almost as easily as this round versus.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're really nice with the passive setups. I mean, they have a bit more presence on Arch than they normally do, but they've been really good at just like letting the T's come and then still getting the kills. We'll see now on this rifle round if they do something similar, if the Cloud9 want to do something similar. It's tempting, and it's hard to say no to all this free map control, so you wouldn't be surprised if they do try it again.
Oh, nobody's looked up. Nobody's looked up. Dexter only gets 1 from above. So a solid response from Sonic. Molotov's thrown on it. The bomb site under question. Sicko, quick flick upwards, doesn't nail the second shot, but these T's aren't comfortable, and he's got cover. Sonic drops another body, but he's finally taken down. He's got 3 kills in the round, and he leaves OC to try and grab the final 2. A minute for him to play that. Somebody already locking him down. Int's so ready. So yes, there's casualties stacking up for Renegades this round, but still, that's 4 rounds in a row.
Did the bomb get dropped?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. There was an opportunity there for him to go B, but I don't know. He actually didn't have the name tags. He didn't know exactly who was still on the A site. That would have been a key piece of information for him to make a good rotation. 1v2 becomes a whole lot more winnable if he does do that, but in general, it was actually a really good a take on the site. They did things quickly. They went through halls. They got their pit kills, which are most important, and they still couldn't win. Tough sledding for Cloud9, and we see pistols once again.
Last round as well, seeing Sicko go down middle to try and get that op posted on the top of alt mid. That was nice, but obviously risky. If anybody towards T-ramp peeks him, he's done for. And he did slip back into cover without taking a tidbit of damage, so props to him. But just showing that Renegades, they're not afraid to take risks. And that's really kind of been the story between these 2 teams. in their first showing on Overpass, and, well, these 7 rounds here on Inferno.
Slow starts would be a problem, but we do have a best of 3. I really want to see Overpass.
Yeah, I would love to go back and see, Floppy mentioned in the post-game interview after Virtus.pro's, after defeating VP, that like yesterday they, he said it right out the gate, like I don't want entirely blame jet lag, but I did see them arrive at the hotel the night before at like 10 p.m. Some of these guys aren't even on the east coast of NA, so you're working with like a 10-hour time difference. And after that first half, they kind of got the ball rolling. So it was just a slow start, but this one's going to pick up because it has fallen from the back of the bomb site. Go ahead and take your plant. All things considered, the investment in this round was negligible.
If they play correctly, I mean, OC has all the HP, and is he on the site? No, he's not, yeah. They can't give him the gun.
No. That M4 pinned in behind him. So OC's going to try to set up the M4, who is tucked into the depths of dark.
Oh, that's weird.
See what's going on here?
No, they should give him the gun.
You'd think, but he's burned out into the open. His teammate dies to the flames, understandably, and that molly just destroys any plan that Cloud9 thought they were going to use in the post.
Wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Diffuse comes out. Nice calm retake here for the Renegades. It could have got ugly once they're in the post plant in that situation with an M4. That next kill is the most important one. It can change the game. So I think, it just comes down to good utility usage for the Renegades. And we go into round 9, another full buy here for both teams. Very close attempt there for Cloud9. They're going to go ahead and pick up as many SGs as possible. Floppy's least favorite gun, but it's kind of a if you can't beat him, join him situation because he knows they're so powerful.
Ooh, timing gets the best of Malta. See you later. There's a world where they can just flash through the smoke and try and pressure Ince. He has the only line of defense towards this B site. He's just emptying his inventory here. Smoke down deep, Molotov to follow suit, and then you see the rotation from Dexter. So he won't be alone if they opt to charge him down. That flashbang, perfect. Dexter's rotation already effective in equalizing this situation, evening it to the 4v4.
Sickos falling back within the site. Still smoke up on Arch. Rotations have come in. They pull the goalie at B. There's only one player in the CT spawn carefully spotting, but playing from far back. Smoke pops in Dexter's face on the Arch wrap. T's haven't moved up quite into this. Flash actually to assist his push. He gets info and a kill. That can change it up. Hat's in a powerful spot. Ends up winning his duel as well, though. Sicko goes down on the site, Hat trades, and he loses because he can't find any more ammo. It's actually now a 1v1 between OC and INS.
He seems very wary of a potential library peek, but INS comes in from mid, wraps back around Arch. And what are the tools he has to work with? Well, he's got that kit, most importantly. That's a good bit of extra time. Also has the smoke, but OC is honed in on this angle. Oh, but he starts to move! And Ince gets the best of it. A just straight up duel for the win. Damn, another close situation for Cloud9, but they fall short.
Oh man, that's really tough. That's gonna happen in the 1v1s. It's like, sometimes it's a game of timing. Sometimes you can influence that timing. Sometimes you can be in tune with the timing and use it to your advantage. But that's gonna happen. That's like a very popular spot for playing the 1v1 as well.
Right, you've got the box to cover you from short, so if he was wrapped on.
You pop up, you watch someone come out the halls, or you just watch someone coming on the site from default, or when you see a nade or whatever, or you sit there and you have a pretty good fight, actually, versus Arch. So maybe it can come down to just who gets the headshot first. And today wasn't the day for OC. Unluku Maluku.
You like this Cloud9 roster, Mohan?
I do, yeah, I do. Yeah. I think even in the first day when they were playing Overpass, it felt like they started off slow, but they were still playing with a lot of ferocity. Like I didn't see, I'm reading into it a little bit, but it was like at first, it was like, you wonder, are they nervous? Are they playing with themselves? It was hard to say. I think there was maybe a lack of utility usage on Overpass that kind of defined the map a little bit against them.
Yeah.
But again, a lot it's hard to dig too much into that result. It's the very first map of a tournament.
And just straight up aggression as well. I mean, I think that's something that they weren't ready for at all. You saw it coming out in the pistol round immediately here on Inferno. But you know, I remember we go back like let's say a year from now. We in North America, we were kind of cheering for Bravado at the time, who were still there in their entirety of a South African team, and we were also kind of cheering for like Singularity, which featured at least Floppy and OC. I can't remember off the top of my head whether Modern was on that roster or not. But then obviously we get this merge of the two, and of the players that found themselves on this lineup. I'm glad that Floppy stuck around. I'm glad that he wasn't one of the guys that kind of got shaved off. And I like seeing that Bravado were able to keep themselves in this.
And Floppy was a top mention, right, for players?
Yeah, so Floppy is the only player from North America, not playing in North America, but the only player from North America, born and raised, that was mentioned as a potential top player of 2020 by the top 20 players of HLTV in 2019. He was mentioned by Breezy, who was in 8th, and Nafly, who I believe was like 5th or 6th.
I've heard of that guy,
Yeah, Naf, you know him?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Right, so it's nice to see that Floppy's kind of getting that tip of the hat. And they said that, you know, with his current form and the way he's been playing, if he can take that and then transition it into playing versus better opponents, that is when he will become, you know, one of these next level players. Because of all of the kind of middle of the pack NA teams, like right now, you know, we have Liquid, we have EG, if we're talking like American Canadian teams. But we...
Thank you for referring to EG as Canadian team.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
But following that, you know, it's like, where is NA? And Cloud9, who at the time, ATK, like, they're the ones that are consistently, or more consistently than anybody else, getting to the top of qualifiers. And it's nice to see, especially all things considered right now. Like, this was big for them. For them to have been picked up by Cloud9, which is going to get them included in certain important events throughout 2020, I feel like, you know, they didn't realize it at the time, but they got in right before the door closed. So big things could be coming. Enough of that, though. We're back into the action. Game's live, 6-3. Cloud9 started off hot, and they're trailing, but a good boost on logs is how they get this 5v4.
One of the first kills that's come this early on Banana goes for Cloud9 as well, which is nice. They've spent a lot of time working at mid versus Sicko and Dexter. And it's like kind of intense crossfire and just multiple positionings that he's played in. Dexter actually goes down after I think being Molotov'd off of his spot. Makes the most of a bad situation though, gets a lot of damage off on Floppy. That's something. Boiler player spotted as well. Hats will be the next man up online for defense. Sonic just gets popped out off the air.
Yep. Ooh, and then a headshot. Sicko wrecks Floppy. But that was Sonic trying to get information over the top of the smoke. Gave it away and got blasted. Cloud9 immediately tuck tail. Divert entirely towards this B site. And curiously enough, Malta, he was worried about arch side, so he gets drawn into CT spawn. And because of this, Cloud9 are kind of given this B site. You know, he could have come up with 1 or 2 kills had they just had to push into him. Instead, the site's for free. And that AWP is posted, but OC misses his shot and re-peeks into his demise. Malta had swung wide in the meantime. Leaves us 3v2. Not going to tuck themselves back behind any boxes. Not going to fall down the depths of Banana, no. Cloud9 look to hold the ground on the site itself. JT will have an excellent shadow advantage in this position. There's no way Malta gets around without him knowing it's coming, so he just has to hit this shot, and he will. Clears it, pushes Sicko into the clutch with the sniper rifle, and he can't find anything. At this point, they should hide, and they will.
Ah, yes, and no op saved as well. You gotta like the 2v3 because they don't want to sit there and wait. They know that they need to find a kill. They're both actively looking for kills, and then they find it in CT spawn. Then they congeal into more standard positions where they're just advantaged because it's now a 2v2. But yeah, they did a good job of separating Renegades in a situation where in these past rounds they've done such a good job on the retake. So nicely played. Now the gap thins a little bit. They now are a bit closer. 2 rounds the difference between Cloud9 and the Renegades in this first map here. Sicko looks for an opening. He's been a bit, I don't know, like the openings that he goes for are quite simple. They're never too brave, I would say, but he always ends up getting away. It's not like he goes out and dies trying to seek out these op frags. So that's pretty good. I think that's fine. As long as he finds a way to have impact as the round progresses, then it's all good. And he's already made his way. He's traversed over through the speedway into his typical position on the A site, moving into spot for boiler presence.
Yeah, does a great job of creating ways to reapply himself after an initial peek. Fire at the feet, Floppy. Ooh, and there's Dexter, getting adventurous. Peers down top mid and is rewarded for it. Tries to spam the smoke with 3 players on the other side. Ooh, half of Sonic's health is gone. You know, they're going to go ahead and divert back to the B site very similarly to what we saw last round, but the difference being they have not evacuated the site. There are 2 members of Renegades very much within it. Malta on the top rope with that MP9 and Ince just beneath him. Molly goes down, that can buy time for a rotation or just continue to chip away at HP. Malta not even needing the M4 behind to support. This really pushes the side of Cloud9 into a desperate spot. 15 seconds, Floppy is just trying to respond with something, and no. Cold, hard hold. 5 surviving for Renegades.
It's a wonderful round from Dexter. He even does all the damage to those last 2 players on B as the rotator. I like his brand of Counter-Strike, man. He's all over the place. He's like constantly finding a way to do damage or have impact. He plays like bravely, you know, but he plays without fear, but at the same time in a smart way that's like pretty safe. And like how he responds to Sonic spam through Arch, he kind of holds his ground, doesn't freak out too much, wait for the spam to come his way. Bullets don't hit, he shoots some, runs away, and that damage ends up helping out the B players.
100%.
He dies in Malta's Molotov, and then he's already rotated over to kill the rest of them as they've made the rotation, because he's done such a good job of being proactive. I really like the way that Dexter's playing.
Yeah, sometimes when those smoke spam fights start unfolding, you can see panic set in. And that was a really good example of it not being the case. Just calculated, you know, they can shoot back, but you know they're not sprinting away. Here we have Cloud9 coming in with a half buy, a curb purchase.
He's also being quite dynamic on A with the Arch initiations, or just like how his initial setups are. They're like that cubby bait, or just playing Arch with a rifle, helping Sicko, or just filling in spots that he's not at because he's going for a different opening. And then rotating around, like when he was taking care of Arch, the way he pushed through a smoke with a flash from a teammate or played Graveyard to take care of Arch. He always knows where the fights are going to come from, and he's finding new ways to approach them every time. Executes out.
Good Mac-10 headshot. That was up close, but Hat, unbeknownst to the T's, is still tucked away. Does great damage and kind of sets them scrambling. Look at the health. 16 HP for 3 T's. But they have a man advantage.
They do. Yeah.
They've gotten themselves another weapon, not to mention bomb to boot. But you can see them having to play scared in this moment. There's no Molotov to burn them out, no frag to blast them to the smithereens, so it's just gonna have to be straight up gun frags here from Renegades. A flash perhaps to aid the endeavor. Malta's gonna slip into the bomb site. Now he's got cover behind. OC just gets popped, and all 3 of these players are the ones low health. Another follow-up kill. Bomb planted for the pit Pete, but Sicko's doing a great job of cover, and now that bomb being tapped, he's got Modem out, and he's got Modem down. 8 rounds for Renegades.
That was close, yeah. If he just crossed behind that half wall, he would have been good, but there was not a chance there. Didn't give him the chance to do that, so well done on the retake. But yeah, I was just juggling the thought of having 2 players alive who are very low HP versus one who has like a significant amount of HP, and thinking like, what would I take? And I feel like, you know, if you really maximize and optimize like the positions those players are playing, you have 2 different guns and you have 2 different sets of utility and the ability to create a crossfire. You got to say that that's almost more valuable. So even though they were all low HP, being able to get on the site in that post plant meant they had definitely a good chance of winning if they played it correctly.
Yeah, Dexter does what he does, but instantaneously, Cloud9 just burst across the kill feed and have this B site wrecked. It is wide open. They're going to sprint that bomb over under the cover of smoke in a 4v2 advantage. Remember, at this point, with an 8-4 lead for Renegades, 2 of their round wins come by way of 1v1 clutch in a defuse. So that 4-round lead could easily only be 2, perhaps on a different timeline. But enough of that. This round still very much alive. Floppy, big flank. Poor Hat's never going to see it coming. And that's going to spell disaster. If Renegades hope to get the retake going, it's done.
From their own spawn, yeah, of course. Oh, that is rough. Yeah, 5 rounds, 5 hard-earned rounds, and they do grab it with also just a B play, which is nice. It's been tenuous despite that. I think they've suffered losses on a lot of the rounds that they've played despite winning. So yeah, it's just been expensive in general.
Yeah, you see the result of that. Renegades not going to have easy sailing with buys time and time again. OC has not been able to find that angle on Sonic's, Sicko's peak. Done it a few times trying to pluck one off alt mid.
Sicko's just like, he's there for a second. He takes like a shallow peek, he falls back, he goes and does something new, excuse me.
No stress. I mean, he puts himself in positions to get early 5v4s, but he doesn't force the issue at all. You know, he's happy to just kind of sit back. And I like that. It's not careless. It's calculated.
We're all playing on Jame time these days, you know?
Yeah. Except for Jame. He's done playing. Still 3 smokes for the CT side. Molotov in the mix. A Deagle popping off on Arch side could indicate a weak link in a hold. But they're just going to leave Sonic here to play around Arch as 4 members of Cloud9 head towards B. We've seen them get entirely shut down from this position, but at least now they have Sonic on the other side. So he'll be hopefully catching rotations. Talking about that 2-smoke Molotov, but utility thrown down now at the 25-second mark. This is really going to force them to rush in. If Sonic can punch them from the backside, then maybe it alleviates some pressure here. The Banana players, they are playing against the clock. 15 seconds left over before they finally get some kind of a trade, and Sonic attempting to sprint into the mix. Good job by Floppy, and OC through the edge of that smoke with the sidearm takes down Dexter. Now Sonic's already got line of sight towards spawn, and this could very well be Cloud9 adding a 6 to the board.
Hey, you think they might actually talk about saving? Yeah, that's the conversation. Begins and ends. They just are going to hold on to what they have. That opt from Sicko is just too valuable. So you can see the players that died in, 1 in construction and 2 in very like kind of typical spots for the CTs. But Cloud9 had to work hard to try to get those entries. Floppy has been pretty fantastic in that regard.
I'm curious to know if that first kill in smoke from Renegades, if that was smoke bug. You know, you start seeing these shadowy outlines inside of smokes lately. I feel like I've seen that happen more often.
I like that.
Do you?
Well, when it's from a nade.
Yeah, right? Like a nade inside of a smoke.
I like that when it's from when it's from a nade, where you can see the silhouette of a player. That's fine. I feel like you kind of pay for that at least. When it's, I mean, at least if it's that, if that's the reason and it's on purpose and it happened all the time. Yeah. I think that could be a little bit cool. But if it's...
That's a hot take, bro.
I think, yeah, it might... I like a little spice. You know what I'm saying? I like a little cayenne.
Well, this has been a spicy half, all things considered. It is potentially going to end as close as can be. A 7th, perhaps, for Cloud9. They will have the advantage in terms of buy here. But props to them. They've taken 2 rounds in a row now, looking for a 3rd. And anytime you can close a half with the last 3 rounds after being down, that's just a real feels good. But it's not nearly over. They will be given banana control. That's something that I feel like Renegades at the beginning of this half had under full control and have since kind of retreated back into the bomb site a bit more often. They've got the utility, though, to hold them at bay.
This is interesting. They have so much info on A, but they're just like all heavily rotated over. Oh my god, INS. How does he live? Oh my gosh. Scenes before, great tragedy. There it is. INS goes down. The rotates are late, very late.
And Floppy's already got it covered. He's ready for them to flank mid. Yeah. And he's not just going to get 1 or 2. It's the entirety of Renegades running at him. A flashbang blinds him, so he's pinned behind the plywood. Easy shot versus Malta. He's going to swing out for some more, and Hats will spam him down. Motto ready at bat, but ooh, nice little double peek. You've got nothing to lose. It is round 15, so Renegades might as well throw the Hail Mary. Another flashbang out. Last piece of utility for this retake attempt. Now it's just about closing the distance, and they get no further. 3 rounds in a row to close, 3 to start the half, and that is 6 of 7 Cloud9 rounds. What will they do in the second half once they're on the defense? Well, you'll have to stick around. We'll be right back after the break. diddle diddle. The cat played the fiddle, and the Cloud9 should be over the moon.
Hey.
Because they closed that half with 3 rounds in a row, Launders. It's not something you see often, and it's definitely a sigh of relief from them. Because for a moment, it looked like they were getting toasted on that T side. But now they have what some would say is the easier job. Swapping over to the defense, down by just 1 round now, and hoping for a second pistol win. Fingers crossed for NA at the moment. JT is going to be tested alone at Banana. Could very well be playing for the retake, of course. You can see all this utility still on Cloud9, kit included. So if JT dies, it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of his world.
Yeah, just for the round.
Of course.
In the world. OC, waiting. Baits it up. Nobody makes a move. Renegades think there's going to be a push. There is no push coming. B is obviously the correct choice at the moment. Only we could know that. It's nice being a caster sometimes. Free information. But it would be pretty intense. Oh, they're actually starting to get a little bit, yeah, they're starting to peek around at mid. They look all the way down mid. This is interesting. They get a false flag. They don't see anybody, but it's not the Renegades who have made the decision quite yet. They start to move over towards Banana.
And then they start hesitating about their hesitation.
Oh, it's mind games right now. Nobody knows anything. They're all making blind reads.
They haven't cheated anybody else to the B site yet. Again, remember, you can assume that their plan from the get-go is to retake B, so they can just always stick to it.
Oh, they're faking. Oh, and Cloud9 are playing. Oh, unless.
Kind of. Not all in. We do have Sonic just moving to spawn, but I mean, they're not even using any of the utility. They're still holding 3 CT. They go back again. It's the fake on fake on fake. And amidst this all, Ince has gotten into the depths of the bomb site. So, okay, bomb will go down at like 4 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine. They got the bomb site, nobody there to fight, nobody wants to fight.
Still a 5v4. JT's gonna be pressured by what could be 3 players, but he has reinforcements right next to him. They are just outside the door. Remember, utility's supposed to be into the mix, but it's Sicko and Ince with hot trade. Sonic, can he do it all? He's got one pinned into construction still, and Floppy, he's looking for a fight coming off of Banana, but he won't find one. Hats is very much tucked into New Box, and Sonic's dealt with his teammate. They know exactly where the last man's at. Sonic still has the kit, but he needs the kill quickly, so he's gonna try to run him down, gun him down, and he gets Glock burst instead. Renegades splitting the pistols and taking a 2-round lead.
That's a frustrating round to lose. That's so frustrating because you know at so many points you could just win it dominantly. You could win the 2 1v1 separately, the one in construction plus this one here, and then it's all good. And it comes down to the 1v1. Sonic has a kit too. There's still a chance if he gets that kill fast enough. That's tough. So many opportunities lost. And they were just so close as well. In general, it was interesting to see how many rotations there were, how many fakes there were, and I think the Renegades were just playing off the information that they had and just trying to guarantee that Cloud9 were going to make a gamble stack in the wrong direction. And I guess they were gambling or playing off the fact that since there was that flash at mid, maybe they knew there was like a lot of people there. So then those people are more prone to making on-the-fly decisions when they hear more information because they're all scared that they're going to be overstacking the wrong side at the wrong time.
Fair.
And it ends up working. They pull the pit player on A, and then they make it all the way back to B as well. And now it's the anti-eco. Renegades have picked the correct site once again. Very good calling so far. Bomb will go down, 5v5.
Speaking of hitting stacking the wrong bomb at the wrong time, this round is really evidence of that. Cloud9 forcing with everything they can, but so be it. You know, give away the round, you've got it for the next. So, really, this round more of a technicality than anything else, Launders. We've got to move through it. They also don't have to take any losses. Now they're going to like 5 bodies lining up for Sicko. Frag grenade at their feet, they're blown to smithereens, or at least their health chipped away from. And Ince is still here to try and gun them down.
Okay.
And you think to yourself, like, they could have just stayed on B site and saved, but they lose everything. So, whoops.
Yeah, they did come close to getting the kills. And I guess Renegades were just like, let's try to make as much money as possible here. So you can see the incentive, I guess, from both sides. But Cloud9 on this round just don't have anything to work with. They're going to have the single flash once again. You could see something similar to what they did on the pistol, where they just overstack at top mid, and then maybe flash there again. Looks like we're going to have another B stack this time around. Renegades into 10. Couple of nades to make sure nobody can peek. Simple Molotov to the top of car. And proceeding one into sandbags as INS starts to clear out the angles more aggressively, more fervently.
One flashbang for JT. One flashbang, and there it goes. Pop. Finds nothing for it. TPs are obviously going to try and flood forward here. Nice lineup, and they do get away with the one chance at a second. OC making work at that USP. Dexter quells him. Floppy, nowhere to be found. But Hats has made a bit of noise, so Floppy can probably give chase to this. Bomb's not yet planted. I mean, you know, it just takes a couple of USP headshots. Come on, Hats. Come get some.
Just one Floppy boy.
Almost, but not enough. So a 4-round lead for Renegades. They win that second pistol round, planting at the 4-second mark, and they convert it into the strong 3-0 start. Funny enough, the exact same way Cloud9 began their T-side, and it was then 6 rounds before they finally got a 4th. So let's see if Cloud9 can respond quickly. They do have a stellar buy.
This is the map where this is the map pick of the Renegades, right? And
Cloud9.
Oh, of Cloud9.
Yes. Sir.
Oh, okay, yes, because they were talking about. Well, at least Floppy was saying he's not super interested in playing Dust 2.
Nope.
Which is what they do have.
That's
to
what's
play.
up next.
Yeah.
He also doesn't.
But we all have to do
Vertigo.
things that we don't like to do all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he knows that as well.
Oh, he is so blind. But he goes unchecked. Hats doesn't have a teammate keeping eyes close on the cubby. Sicko up close, tries for a second frag, but then OC's op reigns supreme. Malta looking for that double. Good damage versus Bottom. And a smoke now at his feet. Flash to follow suit. JT is gonna feel the heat of this. T's dropping down in front of him, and he gets killed by the man giving cover. But Molotov damage is significant. Still, they walk away with a 2v1 here. But Sonic, unbeknownst to them, is already starting to work in from behind. A player inside of Graveyard, and he doesn't see his head.
Monster moves from Malta.
That stings.
Yeah, he gets that kill on the A site, tons of damage into pit, which helps them get into the site in that 2v1 in the first place, and then finds the last frag as well. Really, really nice round from him, I'd say, above anyone else. But there it is, INS as well, yeah. So that to help out Malta get that spam down in the pit, into that smoke that's supposed to just like extinguish a Molotov, provide a one-way, do a couple of things. None of them useful in that moment.
Considering that's the kill that takes us away from a 2v2 with health advantage on Cloud9, ouch. As the result of that is now Renegades sitting on a 4-round win streak and staring a 5th one in the face. These pistol arrows around the single scout of Floppy shouldn't be too much of a burden for Renegades to chew through. Double frag over, almost blows JT away. He will barely stand on 5 HP, but there are 3 members of Cloud9 here on this B-bomb site, and while there were more Renegades at the top of Banana, they've actually head back in order to grab that bomb. OC will be first at bat for Cloud9.
They're coming.
Slowly.
Yeah, don't let the birds fool you.
Oh, but he's gonna get
For a
cleared.
second. Oh, it doesn't even get a chance to shoot. Hats. Good job clearing at the holes. Modem coming from behind. Hats has his back, his front, everything covered, no problem. There it is. The A side cracked open once again. There's been a few rounds where, like, because they work so hard to get into the A side, some of these trades are very close, and it's like, whoa, I don't even know if you run that one more time, would Cloud9 have won the round? I feel like that has happened more than a couple of times at this point. But it's pretty impressive. Renegades' fragging potential on a lot of the players in their team. And they all seem to be just playing very, very confidently and calmly as well.
That's something our desk touched on. It's like we have seen good performances from the members of Renegades, but not all at the same time. You know, kind of across different maps. And this is an example, I think, of kind of closing that gap and everybody putting in the work, which right now will net them a 13-7 lead. And this game is very quickly starting to run away from Cloud9. They've given up 5 rounds in a row on the T side, have yet to win a CT round, although they will be coming into the next one with another purchase. Their second rifle round of the second half. So let's see if they can turn it around. Remember, last time they almost had a 2v2. It was close.
Yeah, it was close, yeah.
Close won't cut it. You know, and they know that already. They had a blowout half versus Renegades on Overpass to start the tournament, and they faltered and fell because of it. So they had a good first half this time, But we're looking at the makings of a blowout right now.
OC priming the flash at mid. Nobody peeks into it. Flopping out, just going to throw the defense, the smoke down defensively, excuse me, as they exchange nades on Banana as well. Standard default here for both teams. So now we move into Hall's control, at least the period of Hall's control here for the Renegades, as they overtake the long haul area. 2 CTs waiting, laying in wait. OC prime target with the AWP. A lot of damage done. Modem gets a kill. Dexter's hurt. INS is hurt. This is looking very good for Cloud9 at the moment. Can they lose this round?
Flash connects, JT fully blind, and Dexter, despite the health disadvantage, just takes his head clean off. Now all of a sudden you've got terrorists in your spawn.
Yeah, and there's only one player on B. Oh, he's got it in aggressive angle. Sonic's gonna take the duel. Really nice shot from Sicko. Sonic was waiting. Sicko pretty much pre-fires that and wins it straight up. 2v3, I'm still gonna give the advantage kind of heavily here to the Renegades. They know they get an open plant. They know where the other CTs are rotating from. They can pick any spot they want.
And if that smoke and Molotov goes down on Banana one after another, by the time that Cloud9 can just run in clearly, see this? Oof, that bomb's gonna be halfway gone. So he has the advantage that these CTs are just gonna walk right into him. They do not check close smoke, but he is blinded. That's something for them to work with. OC clearing Malta, not letting him get Banana's huge, but can Sicko finish this off? Oh, absolutely! Not only does he trade versus Sonic in construction, a crucial kill to open the B site and plant launders, but then he follows up in the 1v2.
Nice, man. Really well done. That was so well played. You got to appreciate the positioning there, the confidence to take that close, that first opening kill. Yeah, and that peak was just beautiful. An important trade. He didn't know exactly, he didn't see what we saw. He didn't know exactly where in construction his opponent was. That's not an angle that you often have to come into confidently and pre-fire. So it's just a really nice showing there from him on that round.
Unfortunately for Cloud9, that was one of 2 gun rounds they've had, and they may not get another. They have to force, or at least, buy something in this one, and then their last round's gonna be it, technically. We may just get 3 full-fledged gun rounds out of them, and that's the end of the match. So
yeah, that was a round that started off on the A site with lots of damage done from Cloud9. They got the kill as well, and then Dexter finds that initial duel in CT spawn.
Kills
with
the
low
arch
HP.
player close, 25 HP, headshot works. And then I think because of that, because of the way the round continues to unfold, we have to now look back and question whether Sonic should have re-peaked after getting that first kill in CT spawn, because you saw Sicko ready for it. And
well, no, Sonic
that,
was ready for it. Sicko pre-fires him.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It makes it more impressive. But you got to say, Sonic, he should have been fine. He actually got to the angle in time. But he didn't also pre-fire when he was doing that. But I think he normally would just be able to win that duel no problem. Easy.
Oh, man. They're taking flashes to the face. They don't realize, but they've already cleared this B site. Cloud9 have nothing else to hold this with.
Another situation where they just picked the right site.
Yep.
They just got a good beat for it right now. On these anti-ecos especially, they're winning minimal losses.
Damn, man.
They look good, huh?
I mean, we were coming into this half, I'm thinking, I'm getting ready. I'm bring down the story,
Yeah, Cloud9.
7 rounds,
like overpass. They might come back again.
This is it. And, flat tire here on the CT side. This is 6 in a row, now going to be 7 rounds in a row for Renegades on the T side. I feel like the second half technically hasn't even started, but Mo, it's kind of over.
It is kind of over, but I mean, it's like you look at the round. I mean, they've had chances. Cloud9 have had chances to win. They just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think now because of that, it throws in question those last 3 rounds that Cloud9 added on their T side. The last 3 rounds of the half. It's one of those moments where you see a team really running away with it. Remember, Renegades winning 8 out of the 9 in the middle of that half. Sometimes it's you're leading by such a large margin, you kind of let your foot off the pedal a bit. You give them hope. They slip some through, a little 1v1 here, a 2v2 there. And because of the result of this second half, screw those 3 rounds. What do they matter? You are now staring 8 map points in the face on your opponent's map pick, a team that you've already dismantled just yesterday. So good luck, Cloud9. Your 3rd full gun round of this second half. It's going to have to start right now. They've got the double op for it. If anything, maybe this slight variation. 2 snipers are better than 1. And already OC fires off with the first. Malta down for the count. But Sonic, he knows what's going on here and gets his head dropped quickly. Bomb's not procured, so Renegades still can't rush in off of this. Not able to just force their way through with momentum. But at least they just nab back a 4v4.
Oh yeah, they're taking off out as well.
Yeah, Cloud9, who have been just struggling for anything, get a man advantage early, probably feeling good. A quick gut punch.
This is tough. Yeah, Cloud9, it's not that they lack information right now. I think they actually, maybe they aren't even spotting mid at all. Yeah, they might be a slave to the rotations. A lot of effort, or a lot of emphasis on OC here from Stewbox. He's going to have to do a lot for his team. Rotate is timid. It's coming around the speedway at about 20 miles an hour.
Yeah. OC going to be blinded, kind of tucks back into dark. Two players make it past. He fires his shot. Now, his smoke's going to go down, but it doesn't extinguish the flames, so 15 HP is all that remains for him, and Dexter cuts off the first player. This one is done and dusted. Wow. Renegades, what a showing in this second half. 8 rounds in a row, not a single response from Cloud9. I mean, Modem, if you want to try some heroics, bud, go right ahead. But if the rest of this half is anything to go off, Launders, this one is so one-sided.
Yeah.
He's being baited in by the AWP, and a triple peak seals the deal. 16-7 on Cloud9's map pick. Renegades sending a message.
Man, I was like kind of asleep a little bit that game, which is like how these rounds were just passing by, waiting to see when Cloud9 were going to get back into the half so the narrative could change a little bit. But it never got to that point. It felt like Renegades were in control. And that's a shame to see, but you can't say that Cloud9 didn't have a lot of chances on those rifle rounds with different looks to try and win. They even had advantageous situations. I didn't see a lot of like lucky kills, if you will, go against them, per se. It was a very standard state of affairs. A lot of nice adjustments and a lot of nice calls from the Renegades, and a good first half as well.
Got to give them that prop. So right now, it seems like they have Cloud9's number. You know, they sent them down to the lower side of the bracket just yesterday on Overpass, and now they've already picked up the first map of this series. So it could be a quick one for Renegades today, but you guys will have to stick around. We'll be back with the second map after a break.